everybody! Today we'll be talking about faithfulness, which is one of the fruit of the Spirit. Now let's see what the world view about faithfulness. Faithfulness is lasting loyalty and trustworthiness, being true to one word or commitment. Faithfulness is a concept of remaining loyal to someone or something and putting the loyalty into consistent practice regardless of any circumstances. Now let's see what the Bible says about faithfulness. It is the fact or quality of being true to one word or commitments as to what one has pledged to do or believe. Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, "Now faith is a confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see."
We will now look at a biblical example of faithfulness. How is God faithful to the people in the Bible? Let us look at the story of Abraham and Sarah's promised child. In Genesis chapter 18 verses 1 to 15, God promised to give Abraham and Sarah a child, but Sarah couldn't believe it due to a very old age. The thought of her bringing life into the world seemed ridiculous. However, God did the impossible in Genesis chapter 21 verses 1 to 7 through the birth of Isaac. This is a reminder that God's promises don't expire and we must always remain faithful to God no matter what and how our circumstances are. Next, how can we be faithful with what He entrusted us? Let us now take a look at the parable of the talents, which deals with faithfulness with talents and resources. And this is taken from Matthew chapter 25 verses 14 to 23. His master said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master." Matthew chapter 25 verse 21. Faithfulness can be seen as overcoming a fear. In life, we all have different priorities, busy schedules and new interests. This should not be the reasons not to give ourselves faithfully to everything we do, especially for God. Our faithfulness says a lot about us. Are you the faithful servant, or are you the one who does nothing with your talent? When we are faithful, we show God and others we can be trusted.
With all that knowledge and understanding of faithfulness, let's now talk about the application. Faithfulness comes from a place of trust and loyalty. As a Christian, it is important to be faithful to God. Faithfulness requires us to submit our ways to God. We may know about God, but we do not walk closely with Him. Is that being faithful? Let me ask you. I don't think so. The question is, then, how do we grow in our faithfulness with God? We can grow in our faithfulness by having a personal relationship with Christ. I repeat, personal relationship with Christ. And the best way to do it for me, I believe, is through devotion. It is in this moment where we have a one-to-one conversation with God. Journal the devotion. You know why? Because we human tends to be forgetful. And by journaling, we can also look back and see how God has played a role, has helped us, has been with us in our life. With that, we can look back at our walk with God. In conclusion, remember that no matter what and when, God will never forsake us. This has been proven over and over again in the Bible, where He is being faithful to His people. However, we sometimes take things for granted and pride gets in our way with God, which blocks us from the relationship. So how do we prevent it then? Remember to always press the pause button. Pause button? Press! You know why? This pause button will let us take a moment and look back, reflect on our life and how God has been faithful to us. And remember it, that He will never forsake us, as I have said, as this is really important to have a one-to-one relationship with God. Take the pause and reflect.
Now, how is God still faithful to us today? God is always protecting and providing for us. Not only that, we have also a community around us, which is Ignite, where we can journal our Christian walks together. Why not start with a small step of faithfulness by tuning in to the Ignite Midday Devotion? Hebrews 13 verse 8 says,
Jesus Christ is the same.
Yesterday,
today,
and forever.
Thank you.